Hi, good morning. Welcome to another video. For today, I have prepared a short routine of exercises in which we're not going to be using any props for the workouts. All you need is your mat, and there's one little prop that you might need, which is the towel under your head. Only if you have to use it. If not, just the mat is going to be enough for today's workout. So let's start by lying down on the mat. Find the prop and put it right under your head. And we're just going to start here, just breathing right here. So breathe in through the nose and out through pursed lips. Make sure you have your knees bent and your feet on the ground. Relax the arms by your side and just focus on your breathing for a little while. We want to inhale through the nose and feel the rib cage expanding towards the sides and the back. And every time we exhale, we want to feel that rib cage closing in and down. And make sure as you inhale, try and think about bringing the air towards the lower parts of your lungs. That is the part that we use the least, so it's good to explore that range of motion. See if we can access that part of our body. And every time you exhale, make sure you bring all of the air out of the lungs. And that full exhalation is going to help you engage that transverse abdominis, that pelvic floor, those stabilizers that are going to help you throughout the workout. Good. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale. Good. Let's start rocking the pelvis back and forth. Go all the way back and all the way forward. Explore your range of motion here and try and find the point in between those two extremes, the middle point, which is going to be that neutral position for you. It normally tends to be when we have those hip bones in line with the pubic bone, so the three of them, they're just parallel to the floor in that line. And from here, we're just going to practice that in-breath a couple of times. So we're going to take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to think about bringing the hip bones up towards the rib cage. So we're using those lower abdominals to do that movement to bring those hip bones up. And inhale as we go back to neutral. And let's keep moving through here. And think about using those lower abdominals, not using your glute muscles. Feel small lengthening on the back of your lumbar spine as you go into that imprint. And release back to neutral. Now we're going to stay in that neutral pelvis, and we're just going to mobilize our shoulder blades a little bit just to find our neutral position there. So we're going to start by having the hands facing in towards the body, and we're going to go into elevation and depression. So you want to think about bringing your shoulder blades all the way up. It's not just the shoulders, but try and feel your shoulder blades as you are against the mat. It might be easier to feel the movement of your shoulder blades up as far as they can go and down as far as they can go. Inhale as they come up and exhale as they go down. And try and find your range of motion here, all the way up and all the way down. Now find the middle point in between those two. That will be your neutral position. And from here, we're going to bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Imagine you're holding a box right here, so you don't want to bring your hands closer together or further apart. We want them to stay there as we go into protraction and retraction. So we want to think about bringing the shoulder blades away from each other as we protract. And think about bringing the shoulder blades closer together as we retract. We're going to exhale as we go up and protract the shoulder blades. And inhale as you bring them back towards each other. Let's do this one more time. And try and find the middle point in between those two, which is going to be your neutral position. And from here, we're just going to start scissoring the arms. So take an inhale right here and exhale as you bring one arm overhead and the other one down by the hip. Inhale back to the ceiling and exhale as we switch arms. Inhale up and exhale to switch. And every time you bring the arms up overhead and down by the hip, make sure that your rib cage is not flaring up. Make sure that rib cage is staying down. You're engaging those abdominals. But as well, you're not pressing so far down that you're losing your neutral pelvis. So pelvis is in neutral. It's just your thoracic spine that is being pressed a little bit down towards the mat. Let's do two more here. Bring it back towards the ceiling and relax the arms down by the hips. Now, from here, we're going to start mobilizing the spine a little bit. So I want you to lie down on your side. You choose which side you can do first. We're going to do both. So make sure you have your heels right in line with your sit bones and your knees are bent. And then you're just going to lie down on your side. You're going to allow your head to rest down on the mat. And you're going to bring the arms right in front of you. Now what you want to make sure in the legs and in the arms is that everything is fitting right on top of each other. So foot right on top of each other, the same with the knees, the same with the hips, and the same with the hands and the elbows and the shoulders. So everything is aligned. If you're in the right position there with your hips, you're going to have a little gap under your waistline, and we want to make sure that it's right there. And make sure as well that your ribcage is not flaring up right here. So we're still engaging through those abdominals. We're going to take an inhale as we open the top arm towards the ceiling, and exhale as we rotate and we follow with the gaze on that arm. Inhale there. And exhale as we come back all the way to the front. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhale as you go up, and exhale as you rotate and look behind you. Inhale and exhale as you come back all the way to the front. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale up, exhale to open. And come back to the front, and we're going to rotate and do it on the other side. So we're just mobilizing that spine in that rotation, just to start warming up our spine. Now again, make sure the heels in line with your sit bones, and make sure you're having all of the bones in line, so knees, ankles, hips, and your hands, your elbows, your shoulders, all in one line there. Now when you're there, we're going to take an inhale as we open up towards the ceiling, and exhale as we rotate. Inhale there, and exhale to return. Now your range of motion for the rotation might be different from mine. You might be able to reach all the way down to the floor, or you might be able to do a little bit less rotation. Everybody's different. Just work with your body. one more time. Inhale up. Exhale to rotate. Inhale, stay there. And exhale to return back to the front. Great. Now from here, just going to turn around so you can see from there. We are going to go to stay down on the mat, having your prop under the head if you need it. And I want you to have your knees bent, your feet on the floor, and you can have your feet slightly further away than what we normally would do. We're going to go into teasers, so it's better to have a little bit more space in your hip as you come up, so that the femur is not so close to your upper body. And then you can always shift if you feel like you have enough space and you want to bring your feet closer. As we go through the repetitions, you can move your feet to whichever position makes it better for you. So we want to bring the arms up overhead. We're going to take an inhale as we bring the arms up towards the ceiling, and as we exhale, we're going to feel the spine off the mats until we get off the sit bones up there. Once we're there, we're inhaling to bring the arms towards the ear and go into a lengthening of that thoracic spine, and exhale as we roll all the way back down, one vertebra at a time. So inhale, arms up, and exhale as we roll up. Don't go into the sit bones, stay off your sit bones. Inhale as you bring the arms closer to your ears and you're lengthening through that thoracic spine. And exhale to roll all the way down. If you want to give it a try, you can always try bring your feet to a tabletop position, or you can even bring your feet into that diagonal position, having the legs straight, and go from there. You can try all these different positions to try and find which one suits you best. The movement is the same. You inhale as the arms come up towards the ceiling, and you exhale as you peel the spine off the mat, always coming just off your sit bones there. Inhale to lengthen up that thoracic spine, and exhale as you roll down. Let's do this 2 more times. And one more time. And release all the way back down to the floor. You can release your arms by your hips. Now, we're going to bring the feet up into a tabletop position. So first, we're going to go into an imprint of that pelvis. So I'm going to take an inhale and think about bringing those hip bones up towards the rib cage. As you exhale, go into that imprint. I'm going to hold the imprint there and bring one leg up to tabletop and the second leg up to tabletop. Now, we want to bring the arms up towards the ceiling, right on top of our chest. And from here, we're going to take an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to do movement of opposition. So left leg and right arm are going to extend away. Inhale, bring it back to the center. And then we go right leg and left arm extending away. And bring them back to center. Exhale as you press away. And inhale as they come back to center. You can go as far as you want with those legs, as long as you don't lose that imprint. And you can go as far as you want with those arms, as long as your ribcage is not popping up and flaring up. Work through those abdominals to keep that position, to hold that position there. Go for one more on each side. And bring it back to center. And one at a time. bring your legs down, and you can bring both of your arms down to the mat as well. Slowly, we're going to come up off the mat, and we're going to turn around. We're going to go into a 4-point kneeling position. Move that away. Now, we want to have the hands right under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips. When you put your hands down on the mat, what we want to do is we want to start pressing from the outer part of the hand. So you go first the outer part, and then slowly you start bringing the rest of the weight into the rest of the hand, and that's so that we don't put pressure where we have the nerves, so that the wrist doesn't hurt. And as well, you want to make sure that you don't have any weight on your fingers. So if I ask you right there to pretend that you're playing the piano, you could still be moving your fingers right there. Now, once we're here, make sure you're not locking out your elbows. If you're locking your elbows, the crease of the elbow will be pointing towards the front of the mat, the top of the mat. We want the crease of the elbow to be pointing towards the inside, so facing each other. So check on your elbows there. We're going to find neutral through that pelvis and neutral through those shoulder blades as well. And once we have found that position, start moving your body towards the front all the way, towards the back. We are trying to check on our weight distribution. So we don't put all the weight on the hands and we don't put all the weight on the knees. So find both extremes and stop somewhere in between where we are distributing the weight between the hands and the knees. Now when we're here, we're going to take an inhale and we're going to go into a cat stretch. So as we exhale, we're going to start rounding the back from tail to head. Look down towards your knees, and as you inhale, we're going to come back to that neutral position, again from tail to head, and your gaze will come up to somewhere on the top of the mat. Inhale and exhale as you curl up. Inhale as you come back to that neutral position. Let's do 2 more here. Make sure you're not sinking on your shoulders. Good. And let's come back to that neutral position right there. Now, from here we want to bring the knees together, so the legs together, and you are going to tuck your toes under. Once we're there, you're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to lift your knees off the floor, just a couple of centimeters. Inhale up there, and exhale to come down. So we're going to do this leg prep, leg pull front prep a couple of times. We're just warming up to go into the full leg pull front. Exhale as you come up, inhale up there, and exhale to come down. Make sure every time you go up, the spine doesn't change shape. We're just lifting the knees off the floor and bringing them down. Let's do this 2 more times. And 1 more time. Good. Now from here we want to go into that leg pull front. So I'm going to move my hands a little bit further to the front so we have more space. We want to have the legs fully extended, and we're going to go into this push-up position. Now from here we're just going to start shifting the weight again, back and forward slightly, and let's go into the full exercise. So you take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to lift the leg and press away. Press with the heel away the leg that is staying on the ground. Inhale to come back and exhale to release that other leg. So, inhale as you bring your left leg up, point the toes. Exhale as you flex your ankle on that right leg. Inhale as you come back and exhale to release that leg down. Let's do this 2 more times. Bring the leg up, flex the ankle, point the toes, bring that leg down. Bring the leg up, flex the ankle, point the toes, and bring that leg down. And we can release. Hopefully you're feeling warm through those abs, those shoulders that are holding onto that position. Now from here we're going to go into a shell stretch. So we're going to open the knees slightly and we're going to sit on the heels and think about pushing through those abdominals to generate that C curve on your spine. We want to feel the lengthening through the spine as we curve it. Good. And we're going to sit up straight. Now, we're going to go down on the mat on a prone position, so with the belly on the mat. And from here, we want to have the legs in a parallel position. And we want to make sure that the hip bones are not touching on the mat as we go through the exercise. So what you want to do is you want to be using your abdominals so that you are engaging those abdominals and the hip bones are not touching down on the floor. Bring your hands by your shoulders. If you want, you can have them right off the mat. If you want, you can have them a little bit closer. Find the position that works better for you. And you want to have your face, your face looking down on the floor, and your nose is the closest thing towards the mat. And from here, we're going to imagine we have a blueberry under our nose, and we want to inhale as we push that blueberry slightly forward, and exhale as we come up into that extension of that thoracic spine. So it's only a couple of centimeters. We're only lifting through that thoracic spine, only the upper part of the spine. Inhale up there, and exhale to come back down towards the mat. Let's do that again a few more times. Inhale as you push that blueberry to the front, and exhale to come up. We're not pushing through the hands, so if I ask you to release the hands from the floor, you should still be in the same position. The hands are there to give us a little bit of support, but we're not pushing through the hands. We're just using the spine muscles to help us come up. Inhale there, and exhale as you come back down. Let's do this 2 more times. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, and as you exhale, come up. Take an inhale out there, and exhale as you come back down. Now from here, we want to bring the hands slightly closer to the body, and we're going to rotate the legs. So we're going to allow the legs to rotate to the outside, so a lateral rotation of those legs. Again, we want to keep having the same engagement on those abdominals, so those hip bones are not touching on the mat. And we're going to go into a full extension of the spine, so that lateral rotation of the legs are going to allow us now to go safely into that extension. So, inhale again as you push that blueberry, and exhale as you come all the way up. You use your hands now to help you come up into that full extension of the spine. Your gaze should be somewhere right in front of you. Take an inhale up here, and exhale as we lower down. Let's do that again. Inhale, and as we exhale, we come up. Take an inhale up here, and exhale to release down. Let's do this 1 more time. Exhale as you come up. Make sure you're not lifting through your shoulders. The shoulders are staying down. Take an inhale up there. And exhale as you release all the way down. Let's go again into that shell stretch just for a few seconds, just to go into the opposite movement that we just did. So we're going to flex the spine. Make sure you're not dropping your belly onto your legs. We want to just flex the spine into that seeker. And we're going to sit up straight. Now, let's go back down to sitting on the mat. You're going to have your legs crossed right in front of you. And from here, I'm just going to ask you to bring your hands towards the opposite shoulder. So you're going to cross your arms right there in front of you. And from here, we're going to take an inhale. And think about your spine growing taller as you inhale right here in the middle. We want to think about that lengthening through the spine as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to rotate. We're going to go into a twist. And inhale back to center. And exhale as we rotate towards the other side. And back to center. As you see, the rotation doesn't have to be a really big angle. It's just a slight rotation, and it's only coming from your upper body, from your torso. So make sure your hip bones are staying pointing to the front, so you're not rotating through your hips. Make sure as well as you rotate that you're not lifting your shoulders. The hands are just there to make sure you feel if you lift through the shoulders. Let's do this one more time. And make sure you even it out. You went the same amount of times to each side, and then you can release right there. Let's go into a little bit of a stretch here. So we're going to inhale and bring the right arm up, and exhale as you flex up and over. So you want to think about creating a C shape with that left side of your body, and feel that stretch all over your right side. Inhale as you come back to center, and exhale to release. Let's go with the left arm up, and you're going to flex up and over. Make sure you're not lifting through that shoulder as you bring the arm up. Let's go with the right arm. So as you lift, make sure you're not just lifting through the shoulder, you're just lifting the arm, but the shoulder staying down. And then you flex up and over. Inhale to come back, and exhale to release. Let's do this one more time here. And release it down. And that is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed this short workout without any props. Hope it's easy for you to find a way to practice it at home. And if you have any questions or any comments, please go ahead and send me a message just down here. Thank you very much, and I will be seeing you in my next video.